Good morning once again, and we are back with another scanner. I'm not going to explain you everything about what is there in the scanner, why should we discuss this, that I've already done with you. I'm not going to do that all over again. But then you can see that the chapter name is written and this scanner is about the Indian Contract Act. So what we are going to discuss here is the questions of Indian Contract Act. You already know which questions are there, so I don't really need to tell you. So let's move on to the questions. You already know that we have MCQs now in our syllabus. We have MCQs, 30 marks MCQs. So there were a few MCQs given in the RTP and the mock test paper. So whatever was there for Contract Act, let's look at it. Aman contracts to indemnify Mega against the consequences of any proceedings which Chandar may take against Megha in respect of a sum of 15,000 advanced by Chandar to Megha. So that means it's a contract of indemnity where Aman promises to indemnify Megha. And what is this indemnification about? About the loan which Chandar has given to Megha. Now Megha, who is called upon to pay the sum of money to Chandar, but she fails to do so. Now, as per the provisions of the Indian Contract Act 1872, advise the future course of action to be taken by Chandar. Now see, the contract is between Aman and Megha and Chandar. So is there any contract between Aman and Chandar? No. So can Chandar go and recover the money from Aman? No. So Chandar can only recover the money from Megha. I know the answer is given as B, but that is wrong. Institute has given this answer as wrong, and in fact this question would also be wrong in that case. Why? Because both option A and C are correct. So moving on, so because their contract is between Megha and Chandar, Chandar has no right to go to Aman and recover. Chandar has given a loan to Megha, and only, if Aman would have given a guarantee, then option B was correct. But here it was not a guarantee. It was what? It was a indemnity, contract of indemnity. So here Chandar has no right against Aman. Next question, the date of maturity of a bill of exchange payable 100 days after sight and which is presented for sight on 4th May 2017 is. Now 100 days after sight. So let us count how many days are there in May now. How many days are there in May? There are 27 days in May. Then there are how many days in June? 30 days in June and 31 days in July. So let's count this. How much does it come to? 8 and 88 days. So we need 100 days and there are already 88 days. So if we deduct 88 days, so how many more days do we need? We need how many days? We need another 12 days. So when we add 12 days, it comes to what? It comes to 12th of August, because the last day is counted, if you remember in your General Clauses Act. Now I need 3 days grace period. So if I take 3 days grace period, it is 15th of August. Oops, 15th August is a holiday. And when it is what we say, it is a pre-decided holiday, that means we already know it's a holiday. When it falls on a holiday, it is the preceding or the succeeding day? The preceding day. So what is the maturity date? It is the 14th of August. Okay, define contract of indemnity as per the Indian Contract Act 1872. What are the parties to a contract of indemnity? Give an example to explain. What is contract of indemnity? Where one party promises to compensate another for any loss that may take place due to the fault of the promiser himself or any other third party. Two parties here, indemnifier, the person who makes the promise, indemnified, or indemnity holder, the person to whom the promise is made. Mr. Avinash wanted a loan for expanding his business from ABC Bank. Mr. Avinash has pledged the stock of his business. He has pledged. So this is a contract of pledge to obtain the loan from the bank. However, the expansion of business did not reap the desired result and Mr. Avinash was not able to repay the loan. Now, ABC Bank wants to retain the stock for adjustment of their loan. Advise ABC Bank whether they can retain the stock for the adjustment of their loan and also for the payment of interest. We remember, if you remember, in a contract of pledge, I have a right to sell the property not just for the principal amount but also for the interest amount. If you remember, in a contract of pledge, the property which has been pledged can be sold not only for, or a lien can be exercised not only for the total amount but also for the interest amount. So, can retain not only for the adjustment of the loan but also for the payment of interest. Okay, the next question, A gives to M a continuing guarantee to the extent of 8,000. Is it a continuing guarantee? Yes. It can be restricted to a certain period of time or a certain amount. Yes. For the fruits to be supplied by M to S from time to time on credit. Afterwards, S becomes embarrassed and without the knowledge of A, M and S contract that M shall continue to supply S with fruits for ready money and that payment shall be adjusted to the existing debts between S and M. Examining the provisions of the Indian Contract Act 1872, decide whether A is liable on the guarantee given to M. Now see here, afterwards S becomes embarrassed and without the knowledge of A, M and S contract that M shall continue to supply. Now please understand, if there is any variation in the terms of the contract, if there is any variation in the terms of the contract without informing the surety, then as soon as the variation takes place, the surety is discharged for future transactions or for future liability. So here, the A is not liable for the guarantee given by him for the fruit supplied after the variation to the contract. Shambhu becomes guarantor for Aman for the amount which may be given to him by Naveen within 6 months. The maximum limit of the said amount is 1 lakh. So the period is 6 months, maximum amount 1 lakh, and it's obviously a continuing guarantee. After 2 months, Shambhu withdraws his guarantee. Continuing guarantee, can it be withdrawn? Yes. A continuing guarantee can be withdrawn by notice with respect to future transaction. That means what? The revocation is only for future transactions, not for what has taken place. Up to the time of revocation, the guarantee given, Naveen had given to Aman 20,000 rupees. So, whether Shambhu is discharged from liabilities to Naveen for any subsequent loans? Yes, because we just saw notice with respect to future transactions, my guarantee is revoked. Whether Shambhu is liable to Aman if he fails to pay that 20,000? Yes. Why? Because I told you that revocation takes place for future transactions. What has already been done, I am still liable for that. My liability does not come to an end for what is already done. But for future transactions, my liability is over. So, in case of continuing guarantee, the continuing guarantee can be revoked by giving a notice with respect to future transactions. So, coming to the answer, Shambhu is discharged for all the subsequent loans, is liable for the payment of 20,000. Mr. Chetan was appointed as a site manager of ABC Construction Company on a 2-year contract at a monthly salary of 50,000. Mr. Pawan gave a surety in respect of Mr. Chetan's conduct. After 6 months, the company was not in a position to pay 50,000 to Mr. Chetan because of financial constraints. Chetan agreed for a lower salary of 30,000 from the company. This was not communicated to Mr. Pawan. Now, whenever there is any variation, what happens? Guarantee is what? Revoked, but only for future transactions. 3 months afterwards, it was discovered that Chetan had been doing fraud since the time of his appointment. What is the liability of Mr. Pawan during the whole duration? So, for before this whole thing, that is before the 6 months, no? Yeah, after 6 months. So, till the 6 months, Mr. Pawan is liable. But after the 6 months, anything that is done by him, Mr. Pawan is not liable. So, hence, Mr. Pawan will be liable for the act of Mr. Chetan before the change in the terms of the contract during the first 6 months. Now, without the consent, will discharge Mr. Pawan from all liabilities towards the acts after such variations. Okay, Mr. D was in urgent need of money amounting to 5 lakh. He asked Mr. K for the money. Mr. K lent the money on the surety of A, B and N without any contract between them in case of default in repayment of money by D to K. Now, even if there is a co-surety and even if there is no contract between the co-sureties, they are equally liable to contribute their share. And even if one of them pays, he can recover from the others. So, even if there is no contract between the co-sureties, but they are still liable to contribute. D makes default in payment, B refuses to contribute. Can he refuse? No. See, whether under the same or different contracts and whether with or without the knowledge of each other, in the absence of any contract, are liable as between themselves to pay equal share of the debts. So, can B refuse? No. B is liable to contribute. Can we go to the next question? Yes. Megha advances to Nisha 5,000 on the guarantee of Prem. The loan carries interest at the rate of 10% per annum. Subsequently, Nisha becomes financially embarrassed. On Nisha's request, Megha reduces the rate of interest to 6%. The moment you reduce, you should inform, but does not sue Nisha for 1 year after the loan becomes due. Nisha becomes insolvent. Can Megha sue Prem? Now, discuss the answer with reference to the provisions of the Indian contract. We have already discussed this type of question, तो मुझे वैसे बताने की जरूरत नहीं है, but still any variation will discharge the surety for any future transaction. Okay, so now moving on to the next question, distinguish between contract of indemnity and guarantee. I'm now going into the difference questions. Ramesh hires a carriage of Suresh and agrees to pay 1500 as hire charges. The carriage is unsafe though Suresh is unaware of it. Ramesh is injured and claims compensation. देना पड़ेगा? Yes. When the contract of bailment is a contract which involves consideration, that is, it is for consideration. It is the bailor's responsibility for any defect in his goods, even if the bailee was not aware of it. So, even if the bailor was not aware. I am giving you my goods for consideration. It is my duty to make sure my goods are proper. Even if I am not aware of the defects in the goods, I am still liable. So, thus Suresh is liable to compensate Ramesh for damages. The next one, M lends a sum of 5,000 to B on the security of 2 shares of a limited company on 1st of April 2016. On 15 June 2016, the company issued 2 bonus shares. Any increase to the goods also have to be returned back to the bailor. B returns the loan amount of 5,000 with interest, but M returns only 2 shares which were pledged and refuses to give the 2 bonus shares. Advise B in the light of the provisions of the Indian Contract Act. Any increase to the goods. So, while the goods were with the bailee, if there is any increase or profit to the goods, the same has to be returned back. So, the bailor is entitled to the bonus shares. What are the rights available to the finder of the lost goods under section 168 and 169? What are the rights? He has a right of lien. I have spent money on the goods. I have spent money trying to find you, trying to keep the goods. If you don't pay me those charges, I have a right of lien. I can exercise lien. Lien means what? Retain. I can retain it. मैं उसको अपने पास रख सकती हूँ जब तक कि मुझे आप मेरे पैसे ना दे दो. So he has a right of lien. Right to reward. ये reward क्या है? Reward क्या है? Reward का मतलब क्या है? मैं उसको ये नहीं बोल सकती तुमको मुझे reward देना पड़ेगा, नहीं. But अगर owner ने कोई reward announce किया है कि okay my goods are lost, अगर किसी को मिल जाता है तो मुझे मेरे पैसे, मैं इतने पैसे दूंगा, goods return करेगा तो, that reward he has a right to. And he has a right to sell. But right to sell is not available always. First, if the goods are perishable, he can sell. Obviously, I mean, you are walking on the road, you see a dozen oranges. Would you keep it कि owner मिलेगा, I will return? कुछ भी return करने लायक नहीं रहेगा. तो उसका right है कि वो उन goods को sell कर दे. दूसरा, he tries to find the owner. सब कुछ किया but owner नहीं मिला. तो अगर he tries to find the owner after due search is not found, तो he has a right to return the goods back. And the third case is where the owner is found. Now देखो एक सिंपल सी बात है, ओनर अगर मिल गया है तो गुड्स का जो भी खर्चा लगा है, लॉफुल चार्जेस मतलब क्या हुआ, गुड्स को रखने का एक्सपेंसेस लगा या आपको ढूंढने का एक्सपेंसेस, whatever expenses I have paid, the lawful charges, it is your duty to give me my lawful charges. If you don't give me my lawful charges, then if my lawful charges, I cannot sell it always, if my lawful charges are 2/3 or more of the value of the goods, then I have a right to sell the goods. That means what? Let's say the value of your goods are 1,000 rupees. I have spent 500. Can I go and sell the goods? No. You give me or I will sue you. But I cannot sell. On the other hand, let's say my expenses were 850 rupees and the value of the goods is 1,000. So can I say I have spent more than 2/3 of the value of the goods? Yes. In this case, if you don't pay me the money, can I go and sell the goods? Yes. So the lawful charges are 2/3 or more of the value of the goods. Amar bailed 50 kgs of high quality sugar to Srijit, who owned a kirana shop, promising to give 200 at the time of taking back the bailed goods. Srijit's employee, unaware of this, mixed the 50 kgs of sugar belonging to Amar with the sugar in the shop and packaged it for the sale when Srijit was away. Can I mix the goods which belongs to the bailor? No, the bailee cannot mix the goods which belongs to the bailor. He should keep the goods separately. If he has taken the consent of the bailor for mixing the goods, it's a very different case altogether. Otherwise, वो goods को mix नहीं कर सकता है. उसको goods को separately रखना है. अगर उसने गुड्स को मिक्स किया तो उसको गुड्स को अलग करना होगा, अलग मतलब ही हैज टू सेपरेट द गुड्स, सेग्रीगेट द गुड्स। उसको सेपरेट करने में जो भी खर्चा लगा वो कौन देगा? बेली देगा। बट यार ये शुगर है, मिक्स कर दिया, डिफरेंट क्वालिटी, क्या हम उसको अलग कर सकते? बिल्कुल नहीं कर सकते। तो यहाँ पे उसको अलग तो नहीं कर सकते हैं। सो Amar, this came to light only when Amar came asking for the sugar he had bailed with Srijit, as the price of the specific quality of sugar had tripled. It has increased. What is the remedy available to Amar? उसको क्या मिलेगा? पूरा प्राइस मिलेगा शुगर का। देखो आप गुड्स को मिक्स नहीं कर सकते, मिक्स किया तो सेपरेट करके पैसे लो और पैसे खुद दो और मुझे मेरे गुड्स दो। बट अगर गुड्स को सेपरेट ही नहीं कर सकते, शुगर मिक्स है, कहां से सेपरेट होगा? तो उस केस में आपको मुझे मेरे गुड्स के पैसे देने होंगे। सो ही हैज अ राइट टू रिकवर द प्राइस। सो अमर हैज अ राइट टू रिकवर द वैल्यू ऑफ द शुगर फ्रॉम Srijit. Next one, Ashley bails his jewelry with Barn on the condition to safeguard in bank's safe locker. However, Barn kept it in the safe locker at his residence, where he usually keeps his own jewelry. अब देखो यहाँ पे there was a condition given that it should be kept in a bank's safe locker. However, Barn kept it in his safe locker at his residence. अब अगर आप देखो तो he has taken reasonable care of the goods, है ना? क्योंकि मैंने जैसे अपने गुड्स रखने, रीजनेबल केयर ऑफ द गुड्स क्या होता है कि एक ओनर अपने गुड्स का जैसा ख्याल रखे वैसा आप रखो। He kept it in his locker. That means उसने अपने गुड्स जैसा अपना गुड्स को रखता वैसे ही इसके गुड्स को रखा है। Where he usually keeps his own jewelry. After a month, all the jewelry was lost in a religious riot. Ashley filed a suit against Barn for the recovery. What will he get? Will he get or not? Generally reasonable care लिया तो कुछ नहीं देना पड़ेगा, एंड यहाँ पे उसने reasonable care लिया। मेरी ज्वेलरी मैं जहां रखती हूँ वहीं पे आपकी ज्वेलरी रखी, तो मैंने तो पूरा रीजनेबल केयर लिया, तो मेरी तरफ से कोई गफलत है नहीं। लेकिन यू टोल्ड मी टू कीप इट इन द सेफ लॉकर। तो जब बेलर ने स्पेसिफिक इंस्ट्रक्शंस दिया है बेली को गुड्स को रखने के लिए, तो ये बेली का ड्यूटी बनता है कि उसको गुड्स को वैसे ही रखना चाहिए। अगर उसने गुड्स को वैसे नहीं रखा, he is liable to the bailor even if he has taken reasonable care of the goods. So यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है? The bailey in the absence of any specific contract is not responsible for the loss, but when the bailor gives specific instructions as to how the goods should be taken care, it shall be his duty to keep. So Barn is liable to compensate Ashley for his negligence to keep the jewelry at his residence. Amit lends a horse to Bimal for his own riding only. However, Bimal allows Chinku, a member of his family, to ride the horse. Chinku rides the horse with care, but the horse falls and is injured. As per the provisions of the Indian Contract Act, analyze the liability of Bimal in the given situation. When I have given you a purpose for which you can use my goods, when I have specified you the purpose, can you make any other use? No. Any use which is inconsistent with the specification of the bailor, any use of the goods, जो मैंने अगर इंस्ट्रक्शन दिया है कि मेरे गुड्स को इसी तरह से यूज करना है, बट आपने उस तरह से उसको यूज नहीं किया, दूसरा यूज किया या अलग तरीके से यूज किया, या मैंने जो बोला वैसे यूज नहीं किया, तो यू आर लायबल टू कॉम्पनसेट मी। यहाँ पे बोला उसी के राइडिंग, सिर्फ तुम राइड करोगे, कोई और राइड नहीं किया करेगा, बट उसने किसको दिया? चिंकू को राइड करने दिया। तो यहाँ पे बिमल इज लायबल टू कॉम्पनसेट और नॉट? यस। So he is liable to make compensation to Amit for the injury done to the horse. Okay, bailment and pledge का difference, I'm not going to the difference question, बहुत easy है, सामने है, आप पढ़ लेना इसको। Ram the bailor pledges a cinema projector and other accessories with Movie Association Cooperative Bank Limited, the bailey, for a loan. Ram requests the bank to allow the pledged goods to remain in his possession and promises to hold the same in trust for the bailey, and also further promises to hand over the possession to the of the same to the bank whenever demanded. Examine whether it's a valid contract of pledge. Pledge में delivery of goods होना जरूरी है, बट यहाँ पे एक चीज समझो, डिलीवरी कोई जरूरी नहीं है एक्चुअल, डिलीवरी कैन बी सिंबॉलिक और कंस्ट्रक्टिव ऑल्सो। यहाँ पे एक्चुअली गुड्स का पोजेशन नहीं दिया है, यहाँ पे एक्चुअली गुड्स का कोई पोजेशन नहीं दिया है, बट यहाँ पे उसने बोला है कि मैं तुमको प्रॉमिस करता हूं कि जब भी तुम गुड्स मांगोगे मैं तुमको हैंड ओवर कर दूंगा, एंड आई एम कीपिंग द गुड्स एज अ ट्रस्टी फॉर यू। सो दिस इज अ कंस्ट्रक्टिव डिलीवरी, एंड डिलीवरी होना है, भले वो एक्चुअल हो या कंस्ट्रक्टिव हो, डिलीवरी होना चाहिए जो हुआ है। क्या ये वैलिड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है? बिल्कुल है। द ट्रांजैक्शन इज देयरफॉर अ वैलिड प्लेज। are instructed as a transporter to send a consignment of apple to Chennai. After covering half the distance, Suresh found that the apple will perish before reaching Chennai. He sold the same at half the market price. R sued him. Decide will he succeed? Well, in an emergency अगर किसी को as an agent किसी और के लिए act करना पड़े तो उसका act बिल्कुल valid माना जाएगा, correct? यहाँ पे हाफ द मार्केट प्राइस सेल किया है। अब हमें तो ये नहीं पता है ना कि कंडीशन क्या है। अगर इफ ही हैज एक्टेड एज अ मैन ऑफ ऑर्डिनरी प्रूडेंस, इफ यहाँ पे सुरेश हैज एक्टेड एज अ मैन ऑफ ऑर्डिनरी प्रूडेंस, अब हमें नहीं पता कंडीशन क्या था, मार्केट कंडीशन क्या था, तो अज्यूमिंग कि उसने एक्ट किया एज अ मैन ऑफ ऑर्डिनरी प्रूडेंस तो वो वैलिड सेल है। तो उस केस में विल ही सक्सीड? नो, इन दैट केस ही विल नॉट सक्सीड। X has acted in an emergency and hence R will not succeed against him. Mr. A of Delhi engaged Mr. S as his agent to buy a house in Noida extension area. Mr. S bought a house for 50 lakh in the name of a nominee and then purchased it himself for 60 lakh. Okay, पहले nominee के नाम पे 50 lakh, फिर 60 lakh पे खुद purchase किया, and he then sold the same house to Mr. A for 80 lakh. Wow, how much profit he is making? 30 lakh. Now, Mr. A later comes to know of the mischief of Mr. S and tries to recover the excess amount paid to Mr. S. Discuss whether he is entitled to recover. First of all, the agent cannot make any secret profit from the principal. If he fraudulently makes any secret profit, then in that case the principal has a right to recover that amount or profit that he has earned. So can we say he can cancel? Yes, the principal can cancel the contract as well as claim the extra profit also. So यहाँ पे if he wants he can cancel. If Mr. A है ना, हाँ, Mr. A he wants he can cancel the contract, and apart from that he can also recover 30. Ma'am, how 30? 20? No. First he purchased in the name of a nominee for 50 lakh and then sold it to himself for 60 and then sold it. So total profit is how much he is making? He is making 30 lakh profit. So that 30 lakh he can recover. So Mr. A is entitled to recover 30 lakhs from Mr. S, being the profit that Mr. S has earned from Mr. A. Explaining the provisions of the Indian Contract Act 1872, answer the following. A contracts with B for a fixed price to construct a house for B within a stipulated time. B would supply the necessary material to be used in the construction. C guarantees A's performance of the contract. B does not. So here contract is that A is going to construct a house for B for which C gives a surety. And यहाँ पे the contract is that it is dependent on B. Why dependent on B? Why dependent on B? Because when B supplies the material, only then A will construct the house. Now, reciprocal promises, if you remember, you have studied reciprocal promises when you are in your CA foundation or your CPT. Now, in reciprocal promises, if B does not supply the material to A, is A liable to perform the contract? No. So, can we say when B does not supply the material to A, he releases A? Yes or no? Yes, he releases A. अब प्लीज एक चीज समझो, C का लायबिलिटी इसलिए है क्योंकि A का लायबिलिटी है. C is liable because A is liable. If A is discharged from liability, if A is released from liability, is C liable? No. Now, as per the is C discharged from his liability? Yes. Now next one, see the holder of an overdue bill of exchange drawn by A as a surety for B and accepted by B. इसका मतलब क्या है कि A ने तो surety दी है, A has given the surety, then B is the debtor and C is the creditor, and accepted by B contracts with X to give time to B. Is A discharged from his liability? अब देखो, please understand, any contract between the principal debtor and the creditor to give time to the debtor for the payment of the debt, right, discharges the surety. Surety को inform करना है, नहीं किया तो discharge हो गया surety, है कि नहीं? ये हमने already discuss किया था, variations हुआ term में, या कोई भी तरह का कॉम्प्रोमाइज किया प्रिंसिपल, डेटर एंड क्रेडिटर ने, वो ऑटोमेटिकली श्योरिटी को डिस्चार्ज करता है. सो व्हाट डज द एक्ट से? प्रिंसिपल, डेटर एंड क्रेडिटर के बीच में अगर कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, आई रिपीट अगेन, प्रिंसिपल, डेटर एंड क्रेडिटर के बीच में कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है जहां पे कौन डिस्चार्ज हो रहा है? प्रिंसिपल. डेटर को हम टाइम दे रहे हैं, हम एक्सटेंड कर रहे हैं उसका टाइम फॉर पेमेंट बिना श्योरिटी को बताए, तो श्योरिटी ऑटोमेटिकली डिस्चार्ज हो जाता है. करेक्ट, ये हमने देखा. अभी यहां पे सी एक्स के साथ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर रहा है कि बी को टाइम देगा, तो एक्ट क्या बोलता है? प्रिंसिपल, डेटर एंड क्रेडिटर का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. यहां पे क्या प्रिंसिपल, डेटर एंड क्रेडिटर का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ है? नहीं, ये तो थर्ड पार्टी एक्स के साथ हुआ है. तो क्या ए डिस्चार्ज होगा? नो. सो ए इज नॉट डिस्चार्ज फ्रॉम लायबिलिटी. आई होप आपको समझ में आ गया. चलो, कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट वन. आशीष अपॉइंट्स मेघा. चलो, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Ashish appoints Megha a minor as his agent to sell his watch for cash at a price not less than 1700. Megha sells it to Diwan for 1200. Is the sale valid? सबसे पहला तो let us understand, can a minor become an agent? Yes. See, the principal is liable for the act of the agent, but the agent is not liable. Agent can hold. See, minor has the capacity to make someone else liable. And when an agent does the work, he makes the principal liable. So, according to that, a minor can hold the principal liable. So, he can be an agent. So, if he makes the sale, is the sale valid? Yes, absolutely valid. Now, in general circumstances, my order was sell it at 1700, you sold it at 1200. What I will do is, I will recover that 500 rupees from you. That is general, jo hota hai. But, when the minor is an agent, when the agent is a minor, तब मुझे ये 500 रिकवर करने का कोई राइट, आई डोंट हैव अ राइट टू रिकवर दिस 500 फ्रॉम यू. आई कैन नॉट डू दैट. आई रिपीट अगेन, आई कैन अपॉइंट अ माइनर एज एन एजेंट बिकॉज माइनर लायबल नहीं हो सकता, बट वो दूसरों को लायबल कर सकता है. एजेंट जब काम करता है वो प्रिंसिपल को लायबल करता है, उस ग्राउंड्स पे हम माइनर को एजेंट बना सकते हैं. एंड ये सेल एब्सोल्युटली वैलिड है. जनरल केस में क्या होता है, मैंने आपको अथॉरिटी दी कि 1700 पे सेल करो, आपने 1200 पे किया, तो जो 500 का लॉस है वो मैं आपसे रिकवर करती. सिंपल एज दैट. बट यहाँ पे जब माइनर ने सेल किया तो मैं माइनर से तो कुछ रिकवर नहीं कर सकती हूँ. सेल इज वैलिड एंड मुझे ही वो लॉस रखना पड़ेगा. आई कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग. सो दीवान गेट्स अ गुड टाइटल. मेघा इज नॉट लायबल फॉर द नेग्लिजेंस. चलो, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. एबीसी लिमिटेड सेल्स इट्स प्रोडक्ट्स थ्रू सम एजेंट एंड इट इज नॉट द कस्टम इन देयर बिजनेस टू सेल द प्रोडक्ट्स ऑन क्रेडिट. मिस्टर पिंटू, one of the agents sold goods. अच्छा, उनका प्रोडक्ट, they have a policy not to sell the products on credit. Not the custom, they don't have a policy. That is, they have a policy not to sell the goods on credit. Mr. Pinto, one of the agents, sold goods of ABC Limited to Messrs. Parul Private Limited on credit, which was insolvent at the time of such sale. ABC Limited sued Mr. Pinto for compensation. देना पड़ेगा कि नहीं? Yes. When agent is given an authority, the agent should act within that authority. When the agent exceeds his authority, he has committed an offence. And in that case, he is liable to compensate. So, thus Mr. Pinto must make good the loss suffered by ABC Limited. Mr. Naveen owns a big car and has leased his car to Mrs. Susie. The lease agreement is terminable on 3 months' notice. Mr. Bhalla not being authorized by Mr. Naveen demands on behalf of Mr. Naveen the delivery of the car and gives a notice of termination of lease agreement. So this is, you will say, okay ma'am, if he accepts, this is agency by ratification. Okay. Agency by ratification can be created, but the act clearly states that a principal cannot ratify the act of an agent which results in the third party suffering a loss or in the termination of any rights of the third party. Please understand, agency by ratification क्या बोलता है? That principal can ratify the acts of the agents and make it valid. But the act clearly states कि कोई भी ratification जो किसी थर्ड पार्टी को डैमेजेस देता हो, मतलब थर्ड पार्टी डैमेजेस सफर करे जिसके कारण, या ऐसा रैटिफिकेशन जो थर्ड पार्टी के किसी राइट्स को टर्मिनेट करता है, वो रैटिफिकेशन नहीं हो सकता है. यहाँ पे लीज में कार दिया गया था, तो कैन वी से ये मिसेस सूजी का एक राइट है कि नहीं है? यस. नाउ मिस्टर भल्ला नॉट बीइंग ऑथराइज्ड बाय नवीन, तो उसको ऑथराइजेशन नहीं दिया गया था, तो वो काम कर रहा है, तो वो उसको ऑथराइजेशन नहीं है. सो यहाँ पे मिस्टर नवीन, एग्जामिन वेदर मिस्टर नवीन कैन रैटिफाई द नोटिस। नो, क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ पे मिसेस सूजी के राइट्स को टर्मिनेट हो रहा है बाय दिस रैटिफिकेशन। एंड हमने देखा एक्ट क्लियरली बोलता है ऐसा रैटिफिकेशन जो किसी थर्ड पार्टी के राइट्स को टर्मिनेट करे वो वैलिड नहीं है। सो द नोटिस कैन नॉट बी ratified by Naveen. Okay, principal is not always bound by the acts of the sub agent. बिल्कुल करेक्ट है। पहला बात तो सब एजेंट आप अपॉइंट ही नहीं कर सकते हो। अगर आपने सब एजेंट को अपॉइंट किया तो प्रिंसिपल लायबल है ही नहीं, वो एजेंट ही लायबल है। सिर्फ जब हमने प्रिंसिपल के कंसेंट से सब एजेंट को अपॉइंट किया, जब हमने प्रिंसिपल के कंसेंट से सब एजेंट को अपॉइंट किया कि भाई हम अपॉइंट कर ले एंड प्रिंसिपल ने बोला हाँ तुम कर लो, तभी प्रिंसिपल लायबल है सब एजेंट के लिए, वरना प्रिंसिपल सब एजेंट के लिए लायबल नहीं है। What is agent's authority in case of an emergency? What are the essential conditions? In an emergency, a person can act as an agent for another. In an emergency, a person can act as an agent for another, but it should be a real emergency. मतलब एक made up या ऐसी emergency चिल्लर मैटर नहीं होना चाहिए, real emergency होना चाहिए। इमरजेंसी में ही इज नॉट इन अ पोजिशन टू कम्युनिकेट विद द प्रिंसिपल। देखो सिंपल सी बात है, अगर मैंने प्रिंसिपल के साथ कम्युनिकेट कर लिया तो फिर वो एक्ट इन इमरजेंसी कहाँ हुआ, वो तो एक्सप्रेस हो गया ना अथॉरिटी। मैंने पूछा प्रिंसिपल को अरे भाई ये प्रॉब्लम है, कर दूं ये काम, वो बोलता है हाँ हाँ कर दे, तो मैंने तो उसकी कंसेंट ले ली ना, तो वो तो एक्सप्रेस हो गया, फिर वो इमरजेंसी एक्ट कहाँ पे हुआ। एंड थर्ड, ही शुड हैव एक्टेड एज अ मैन ऑफ ऑर्डिनरी प्रूडेंस। मतलब एक नॉर्मल प्रूडेंट इंसान अगर वो गुड्स उसका होता तो वो कैसे एक्ट करता, वैसे उसने एक्ट किया हो। इसी के साथ हमारा खत्म हो गया ये चैप्टर। आई होप आपको सारे क्वेश्चन समझ में आ गए हैं। एंड नोट्स के लिए आप टेलीग्राम चैनल पे चेक कर लेना, दीज नोट्स आर ऑलरेडी अपलोडेड। आई होप दिस हेल्प्स यू। हैप्पी लर्निंग एंड स्टे मोटिवेटेड। थैंक यू सो मच।